Please watch the video, Retrieving Tuition and Fee Charges for Tax Reporting on the 1098T first as an introduction to this topic. We will begin with a recap from the previous video that discusses what QTRE charges are. 1098T calculations can be complex, but a solid understanding of QTRE is critical to using the three-step process to verify your amounts reported to the IRS. After the three-step process, there is no need to continue watching unless you are in the small population of students that have a Box 4 or Box 6 amount. Generally speaking, QTRE charges are limited to tuition, and related fees such as mandatory, course, and program. Visit irs.gov to view the 1098T guidance for preparers if you seek an in-depth QTRE explanation. Please pause to familiarize yourself with the items that are included or omitted from the totals on your 1098T. This is important for step 2 of the three-step process to verify the amounts reported. Our first step will be to export your account activity for the current tax year dates. Our next step will be to focus only on account activity that is considered to be a QTRE charge, a personal payment, and scholarships or grants. Please note that scholarships as well as federal and state aid are considered payments. Our last step will be to total the groups separately and compare our numbers to the 1098T form. The link to MyCentral can be found at ucmo.edu from the campus links options on the top, right side of the page. Click on the Student option to find the Student Financial Services tab, then continue to the UCM Payment Center. Account activity may be accessed two ways. Choose the Date Range option to filter the account activity according to the current tax year. View Activity will update the results on your screen, so when you click the Excel button, only the account activity for the range you entered will be downloaded. Open the file to begin grouping account activity. When you open the downloaded file, the activity will look similar to the example on the right. Please pause to view the activity and consider which of these charges look like tuition, mandatory fees, and course or program fees. Regardless of the semester, begin grouping your account activity by QTRE, personal payments, or by scholarships and grants. Experienced Excel users can filter by codes beginning with T, PF, CF, and the code WAIV to identify QTRE charges. The upcoming examples are directed toward Excel beginners. In the example, strike-through was used to mark out irrelevant activity. In the enlarged portion of the example, turquoise highlight identifies QTRE charges, yellow highlight identifies personal payments, and dark blue highlight indicates the scholarships and grants category. You can hold down Control, then click on the items you would like to total. A sum will display in the lower right of your screen. For better visibility, I have cut and pasted the groups together and totaled them. If your balance is paid, Box 1 is typically the same amount as the charges you identified as QTRE. However, if you still owe a balance, only the amount you have paid toward QTRE charges can be reported to the IRS. Box 5 totals should match the amount on your 1098T. This amount is also considered as payment towards QTRE, so you can add this total to your payments to verify your Box 1 amount. Matching the amount in Box 1 can be confusing. It is common to have more payments than QTRE charges since the IRS does not count payments toward housing, meals, or books. Reported payments cannot exceed QTRE charges. Box 5 totals are straightforward. These amounts, if properly filtered, will match without further consideration. If this is not your first semester and you are enrolled for spring, you may think the 1098T appears to be crediting you for paying QTRE charges that were applied in December for spring semester, although you have not yet made any payments toward the balance. The way the system works, it adds up the QTRE charges and payments each tax year. If the payments made toward these charges are more, then they will carry over to the next tax year. In essence, you can think of it as payment credit from the previous tax year. This concludes the explanation for 1098T calculations unless you have an amount in Box 4 or Box 6 and would like to understand how this occurs. Prior year payment adjustments occur when there is a change to the QTRE charges in the prior tax year and payment towards those charges were reported to the IRS. This most commonly occurs in two scenarios, but both relate to enrollment changes that cross tax years. For example, you were signed up to take an online course for the upcoming spring, and were billed in December. Before the semester begins in January, you decide to drop it to take the course on campus. The result is a credit of $129.45 due to the cost difference of the courses. This amount will show up in Box 4 as a payment adjustment if it was included in Box 1 the previous tax year. A similar scenario occurs if your enrollment changes from fall to spring. Perhaps you enrolled in 16 hours when spring fees were charged in December, however, in January, you decided to drop a class, resulting in a credit for the class. Keep in mind, these adjustments only show up when there is an uneven exchange. Dropping a course in December and picking up a course in January for the same amount will result in a net change of zero. Prior year scholarship/grant adjustments occur when there is a change scholarship or grants in the prior tax year after the amounts were reported to the IRS. This most commonly occurs when a change in your enrollment occurs across tax years and impacts the amount of grant or scholarship aid you can receive. For example, you were enrolled in 12 hours when spring fees were charged in December and your out-of-state tuition waiver paid the non-resident portion for the spring semester in December. However, in January, you decided to drop a class. This enrollment change reduced the amount of tuition owed and therefore your out-of-state tuition waiver as well. This triggers a change in the amount that should have been reported in the previous tax year for both scholarships and payments, since scholarships and grants are considered payments toward QTRE. Therefore, the difference between what originally paid and what should have paid will show as an adjustment in Box 6 if it crosses tax year.